there's a mixture of homophobia and other things going on when Tom Hulce's character is kind of debating whether or not he should molest a passed out 13-year-old. Because he decides not to molest the 13-year-old. They call him the F word, I believe.
You know what? That is a multiple count felony.
Yeah, it's a multiple
scene. Like, it covers a lot of ground.
Your back.
And welcome to Cinematix Problematix, where we celebrate your guilty pleasures. I'm Krissie Rettig.
And I am Erin Maxwell. And today we are going to be covering 1978's comedy National Lampoon's Animal House, which is the story of the rowdy Delta house at Faber College in 1962. Constantly partying and pulling pranks, they are the bane of Dean Werner's existence, as well as their rivals, the Omega fraternity, who are always trying to get them expelled. The Deltas respond with more chaos, culminating in an outrageous revenge parade that turns the entire town into chaos. Starring John Belushi as Bluto, Tim Matheson as Otter, Tom Hulce as Larry, Karen Allen as Katie, John Widows as Hoover, Stephen Furst as Kent, Mark Metcalf as Niedermeyer, and Kevin Bacon as Chip. Animal House was written by Douglas Kenney, Chris Miller, and the legendary Harold Ramis, and it was inspired by Miller's stories about his Dartmouth fraternity days. This movie was the hit that gave us Toga's parties. It influenced scores of comedy directors. It gave us the pipeline of Saturday Night Live stars going directly into movies and Hollywood creations. And more importantly, it created the template of the raunchy college comedy. And recently it has come under fire because some people feel it is a little out of step with today's tones and attitudes, and maybe the messaging of it isn't quite right for modern audiences. But that is what we're here to discuss. Krissie, what was the first time you saw Animal House?
So I'll say that this almost felt like the first time I saw Animal House, because all I remembered, and I swear to God, I saw this on cable probably, like when my dad had the movie channel back when I was like 6 years old. And I remember, for some odd reason, I remember like the parade scene, but I did not remember everything that came before it. Like it was almost like a brand new viewing for me. So this was kind of like the first time I saw it. So, I watched it. It was funny because like I was thinking about like when we did Revenge of the Nerds, right? It's like another like frat boy comedy. And I think that at the time I was thinking like Revenge of the Nerds was kind of like one of the original frat boy comedies, like not recalling like the exact year that Animal House came out. It was like a few years before Revenge of the Nerds. But, there's definitely some parts where I was like, like cringy, but at the same time, it was kind of like one of these introductory movies that like really focused on like the outcast. I feel like it's like squares were unpopular. It wasn't popular to be like the handsome dashing guy. It was cool to be the outcast who just wanted to party and have a good time and had this like carefree attitude about it. So that was really refreshing, but it definitely had, there were some parts where I was just like, damn, wow, like I can't believe that this made it to film. So I see the appeal for sure, and my heart was floaty in a couple of scenes just because it was so carefree and wild, and they were just like a whole bunch of fun dudes having a good time. But it definitely has its problems as well, which we will address. What about you? What was the first time you saw it?
So, funny enough, I read about it before I saw it because I used to read and collect Mad Magazine all the time. And Mort Drucker used to do those parodies in Mad Magazine. So I had a bunch of Mad Magazine from the 70s and the early 80s that my dad bought me at a garage sale. So I read about Animal House before I actually saw it. And then when I did see it, I saw the edited version that they showed on KTLA Channel 5 on like Sunday mornings. So I saw the 1 hour version.
45 minutes is all you can show this movie.
Right. It was ridiculous and it didn't make any sense. And there was large chunks of it taken out. I didn't even see the full version. So I didn't see the full version of this movie until I was probably 20.
Wow.
And I was shocked. and enjoyed it thoroughly.
Right.
But
Right.
I knew everything about it when I was 7 or 8 and was aware on some level that things were missing because
Mhm.
of what Mad Magazine parody had. Like, I was aware that things were edited out for, like, KTLA's Family Film Festival.
Right. But you came away with a good feeling, like when you
No,
watched it.
I knew because Mad Magazine told me that this was something I was going to enjoy. I knew it was something I was going to enjoy, and they were someone that I really respected at that time.
Got it. No, I mean that makes a ton of sense. That makes total sense. Should we hop into the things that it gets a little bit wrong, the things that might be a little bit shocking to modern audiences?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because there are quite a few kind of bad takes, but it's just going to be something that I love very much. It is something that I hold close to my heart.
Sure.
So, yeah. But
No,
yeah,
no,
that's kind of it.
I get it. I mean, and look, like the one thing I did dive into, I mean, before we start going into the things that it gets kind of wrong, I did kind of dig into like the origins of fraternities, right? It's like I know that they came from like the Greeks and everything, but like when did they first start in like America? When did they, become social clubs? When did they kind of like morph into kind of like these more like slightly like elitist kind of, institutions that, help men especially like rise to power and some women rise to power, and so when I dug into it and like they were talking about kind of like the trajectory of like what happened in fraternities like over the centuries, it does get to the spirit of what these things are. So like a lot of the things that we're going to talk about are reflective of, in an extreme way, of like frat culture and like frat boy life and stuff.
Also, like up until this movie, I feel like frats were portrayed very positively for the most part
Mm.
in films.
Mm-hmm.
Like movies like Love Story, where even though like the female protagonist in that film was really down on frats, everybody in that frat was very nice for
Right.
the most part.
Yeah.
They weren't really seen as villains or like people who are slacking off or enemies or anything like that. You didn't really kind of get into that type of frat culture until this movie.
Until you had guys like Harold Ramis writing scripts about fraternities.
But just a hero.
Right?
Right, just love him.
Right. No, I mean, how can you not? I mean, it's amazing. But I mean, it is kind of like, there were times like in the past, like with films, like where the square, the handsome guy, like that was very polished and a leader and followed the rules was like the hero. And
Well,
this is like flipping it on its head,
right, and that's what frats were technically there to do. They were
Right.
just there to make heroes.
Mm-hmm.
They were there to build connections, and and then they just kind of became the whole what they were doing to Kevin Bacon, which was
Kevin
swatting.
Bacon, Chip was so into it. Chip was there for
Oh
it.
no, he was there.
He ate it up. He didn't give a
I mean,
shit.
he's
Like,
an ROTC man. Like
yeah,
he was totally into the whole authoritarian kind of thing. Anyway, so he
yeah.
was, yeah.
By the way, I can't believe that Kevin Bacon was in a movie in 1978. He looks amazing. I just want to say that. He just looks fantastic. He does it. He's like a fine wine, that Kevin
I
Bacon.
want whatever deal he made with the devil. I want that deal. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great deal.
Oh, it's an amazing deal. It's like it's one of those guys. It's like it doesn't look like he's doing like the Botox like Hollywood actor thing. He's like aging just very very very
Yeah,
gracefully. Yeah.
I'm into it.
I'm super into it. Okay. So first, I'm gonna go into the first crimes, and they come pretty early in the film, right?
Yeah.
Like the first exam. I mean, and I think that you're gonna see this with like a lot of movies that surround like male fraternities and stuff, especially like in this era. But like one of the first things that like to call out is like just rampant homophobia. Like
Oh,
starting in the beginning, and like it is like a thread that goes through the entire freaking thing. It starts off with Tom Hulce's character Larry and Kent, and like they're arriving at the Omega frat house, right? Like this is like the all like the stuffy, dashingly handsome, but like uh,
waspy.
yeah, entitled, like dudes, and they like really want to get into this fraternity, and they come in, and Kent is kind of like a nerd, and he's like very awkward. He's like wearing this beanie that apparently all the freshmen are supposed to be wearing, and Larry says, "Take that off. Stop being such a fruit." you know, and I was just like, there it is. All right, now we are properly launched into this genre because that is something that was, I mean, it was very, you know, apparent in Revenge of the Nerds as well. So the homophobia is pretty rampant through it. Like even Katie makes a joke. Like once the boys eventually go over to the Delta house, which is like the cool guy, like the outcast house, right? I think they're the cool guys, the outcast house, where they're wondering like where some of the frat boys are. And she says, oh, well, they're just well-known homosexuals too, so they could be doing whatever, you know? And it's like a joke, and she's like ribbing them a little bit, because one of them, I think that she's talking about is her boyfriend.
To be fair, that's a really good joke.
and delivered with just such a casual charm that only Karen Allen can deliver, right? By the way, like one thing that struck me, and this is total aside for a second, but when I was watching Karen Allen in this, she totally has like this like great natural charm and talent and everything. It reminded me a lot of Deborah Winger, like the same kind of thing, like this kind of like airy, completely
Oversized sweater, the tousled hair.
yeah, and
But
just
Deborah Winger just had a deeper voice. But yeah, she's like just naturally sexy.
yes,
And like wooden
effortless.
thighs.
Yeah.
But you can easily see how like 3 years later she was cast in Raiders.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, she was she was perfect in that. Oh my gosh. No problems with that movie whatsoever. But maybe a slight problem. Maybe a slight problem with the homosexual joke. You know, like there's all other references to being a real closet case. They, you know, Niedermeyer at one point is yelling out the F word repeatedly for some odd reason, and it's not fuck. I am totally comfortable with saying that word.
Yeah.
It's the other one that relates to homosexuals, unfortunately. But
Meyer is low key was still one of my favorite villains of all time, and it's
really,
simply because he made the jump from this to the Twisted Sister videos,
wow, this is
and like
deep cuts by Erin Maxwell, people.
not even that deep. You could just get on the Twisted Sister videos. I feel like this is a well-known fact.
I did not know this. I learn something every single time I record with you, and sometimes I appreciate learning it, and sometimes I'm horrified.
This character as a dad, he's just this character is
Right.
a Twisted Sister, yeah, and
Right.
we're not going to take it.
Okay. Did I miss any homophobia?
Um,
I
let's
think
see.
that those were like the key
Brother, a
beats.
closet case. Oh, there's a mixture of homophobia and other things going on when Tom Hulce's character is kind of debating whether or not he should molest a passed out 13-year-old.
Oh God, I was gonna get to that one.
Shoulder, and one of them, like, because he decides not to molest the 13-year-old, they call him the F word, I believe.
You know what? That is a multiple count felony
Yeah, it's a
scene.
multiple scene.
Like,
That
it
ends
covers a
with-
lot of ground.
That covers a lot of ground that we'll get to later that we'll have to dissect.
Right.
But again, like that is one of those situations where that comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that we will definitely go into that scene a little bit more deeply. Okay, so the rampant homophobia. The next one I had were and this was something that Revenge of the Nerds actually got right. For all the things that you can like dump on Revenge of the Nerds for, this is something it actually kind of tried to, I feel, fix, and that was that minorities and handicapped people are just are automatically just outcast in fraternities now. And this is something that we saw like when Larry and Kent first walk into the Omega house.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think it's Greg, right? Like
Yeah.
Greg like takes them over to like this other corner of the house, like don't put them with popular people, like put them over like with like it's like the minorities. Like one guy looks like he's a Sikh, and like there's like an Indian dude, maybe a black guy, and there's like a guy in a wheelchair. Yeah, and it's like so the handicapped and minority people are kind of like tossed aside in this fraternity. I don't know if that gets corrected at Delta, by the way. Like it looks like mostly all just kind of like generic white dudes who some are handsome, some are not, like a mixture kind of thing happening. But yeah, like that was something that stood out to me because like if you compare that to Revenge of the Nerds, they like, I mean, despite the fact that they represent minorities in a way that isn't ideal,
But they're still in
Like,
the house.
but they're still there. They're still
still in the house.
accepted. They're accepted into the
And
house. They're
you can easily say this is also 1962 and might have
True.
been very represented. Like, it represents Dartmouth the way that it might have looked in
I think
1962.
it represented it like 20 years later, probably, and beyond
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
think that was just like a
So
fraternity
it's
thing. It was like a
fine.
popularity contest.
It almost kind of gets a pass. I would say probably the only Jewish person, the only minority on set was the Jewish person was possibly Harold Ramis.
That's true. Maybe, yeah.
And the
But
band.
but
And
but
Otis Day in the Nights.
yeah. But I think that you get it right though. That I mean, it is of its time, and
Yeah.
like a lot of the attitudes that are reflected. It's like I kept on asking myself when I was watching this. I was like, why 1962? Like, why did they pick that year? Was it because like Vietnam was happening? Was it because they knew that like a lot of the things that they were representing were dated?
So I have an answer for this.
Okay.
And they said it was said in interviews when Harold Ramis and Miller and all of the writers were getting together, and they said the reason that they picked 1962 is because it was right before what they considered when America was still innocent. It was before the Kennedy assassination. And it was when everybody was still kind of had faith in their government. Everybody was still very much believed in everything. It was before Vietnam. It was before, so it was still the age of innocence of America.
Got
And they
it.
wanted to set a movie during that time.
Okay. Yeah, that
So
makes sense. That makes sense. There is, I mean, for all of its kind of like raunchiness and stuff, there is like a high degree of like innocence and goofiness and everything in this film, which I think is what makes it kind of like somewhat endearing to this day. So no, that tracks.
there isn't like a darkness to this. Like we were chatting before we hit record,
Right.
talking about movies like this where it uses not really a plot point to drive the film or the narrative, but it's more like a series of vignettes.
Right.
And the thing is, though, with other films, there's almost like things like MASH or things like Harold and Maude or other things that kind of like don't really have like a clear story plot, but it's mostly like characters in other situations, and then you follow their antics.
Right.
There's almost like an underlying kind of darkness to it in certain ways because it's a dark comedy. Yeah. And while this isn't a dark comedy. This is just a comedy. And it's because of where it's set and when it's set. There isn't a war. No one's harboring any ill will other than a very base level of we don't like them because they're outsiders or because they're weird or because they don't believe in what we believe in, and it's this very base level.
Right. All right. So we talked about minorities and handicapped people. We talked about homophobia. We talked.
Sexism.
Wait, what?
Sexism?
Yes, that was my next one. Oh my gosh, you're like, she doesn't even have access to my notes, you guys, and she just reads my mind. But look, I was going over this one last night. I was just like, yeah, I have to cover like women being objects, right? Like the objectification of women. And I had so many things bolded in the notes that I took like while I was watching the movie. Like I was just like, I forgot that there are this many instances of like how bad it is. So there are many instances of women being treated as objects, which you would totally expect in a film like this, set in a frat house and all that stuff. Set, like made in 1978 as well. They didn't really like get beyond it by 1978 either, or the 80s and the 90s. So the first kind of example is Mandy and Barb. The kind of like stand-in like sorority girls, they are there to be eye candy. They are there to be nothing but pursued. They are there to, just kind of be there for male competition a bit.
I do think Mandy is smarter and is more in control of her sexuality and who she is as a person. Like she owns who she is more than Barb does. Barb is definitely more eye candy. She's just there to get a husband.
She's a little bit ditzier.
Yeah.
But Mandy has like a little bit more agency. You're right about that.
Yeah. Even Katie to a degree is just there as a love interest
but she's smart. It's like I love that. I love what Karen Allen did with that character though.
Yeah.
Because she's really sharp. She's not under any illusions about what Donald, is doing and like about his habits and the drinking and the partying and everything. And she just wants him to grow up. She's like there to be kind of like this maturing force in his life.
But you are correct. Like most of them have very limited agency, and they're mostly there either as prizes to be won, or they're there as obstacles to overcome.
Right. And I mean, and even Katie's kind of, she does present a couple of obstacles, like they're adorable obstacles, and she's totally right. Like, I think that, but to Donald, you know, her boyfriend,
No,
I mean,
Boone's her boyfriend. Donald Sutherland is the
no, not Donald said, like, I think his name is, I think
Boone.
his, yeah, it's like, yeah, Boone. I think
Yeah, yeah, Boone.
his
Yeah.
like code name is Boone. I think his actual name is Donald,
Oh,
if
is
I
it?
recall correctly.
Oh,
I think,
okay.
but I'll call him Boone. We'll call him
Okay.
Boone just to stay on the
I,
on
I
the
I
same
just
page.
call everybody by the names that they were given by the fraternity. For me, that's their Christian names.
Yeah. That makes total sense. I approve of this.
Yeah, I know I called him Kent earlier, but it's really Flounder.
It's flounder. Yeah, you're right. And I'll try to keep to that. I'll try
Right.
to adopt that strategy for the rest of the pod. And the next one I would go to is, I mean, because this is a frat house movie, you have to have like your obligatory, apparently, peeping Tom scene, which
Yeah.
involves Bluto. Like he's outside the sorority house and he sees the silhouettes of all of these women like in a window. Like he can't see them for sure, but they're like all silhouetted. They look like they're in their like pajamas or topless or something. And he gets somehow there's a ladder nearby because of course there is. And he gets the ladder and he posts it up against the house and he climbs up to go and look at these women. And Erin, do you want to tell him what they were doing?
I mean, they're
Do you
doing
remember?
everything. It's everything that you think girls do, but not girls never do. We have
Yes.
pillow fights. We hang out in our lingerie.
No, we have pillow fights topless.
Yeah, exactly. In our yeah, in limited lingerie, and then we go off in the other rooms and masturbate.
All I know is that this made me way more accepting of the fact that I did not live on campus when I was in college. I was like, thank God. I mean, frat parties were scary enough, kind of. Like I went to a couple of them and they were like a little bit blah. But yeah, so he climbs up the ladder, women having pillow fights. Oh, and my favorite part, I think it's Mandy who's doing it. Like he
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
nasty.
like he hops the ladder very loudly, by the way, and they don't hear a thing for some odd reason.
But
Like
I love
they're
that.
having such a loud topless pillow fight that they cannot hear this huge ass fucking ladder moving over to the next
But they
window.
can't see him, and he's clearly in the
How?
window.
How? That's another thing that bugged. Okay, so the thing that I can get the pillow fight. You're distracted by the pillows and all the other boobies around you, whatever. But he hops over to Mandy's window and it is open. Like there are no curtains, nothing. And she is like, and this is something I do. I don't know if you do this, Erin, but slowly undressing in front of this open window and caressing her nubile college body. And she still doesn't see him.
All right, so
Somehow.
I will say this in defense of Mandy.
Okay.
When I was in college, I had two good friends, and I'll just name them because they're never going to listen to this podcast. So it's Sarah and Hannah, and they lived together for 3 years, and they did not have curtains on their windows that faced the streets, and they literally just gave a free show every night. They were true Mandys in every sense of the word. So this happens. People do it, and sometimes they just don't care.
I don't know what to do with this information.
I'm just letting you know that sometimes that does happen.
Okay. You know what? Okay, this is not a large sample. I just want to say, like, we need more sample. Like, we need a poll. This is like all anecdotal. I don't believe that that a ton of women do this. I don't. I refuse to accept this. I don't
Listen,
think it happens.
I had 5 friends. They all lived in this one house. We called it the Kotex Castle, and they had the bedroom that faced the street, and they never bought curtains for that window. And everybody in that street were fully aware of that.
Okay,
So
then.
I'm just saying that in
Well,
defense of Mandy. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Hannah.
wow. Okay. No, cool. I'm glad that we talked about
just,
I'm
just as an example.
okay. Fine. Fine.
So I do want to say that, like, in all of my times of getting together with large groups of women, the amount of times that I had topless pillow fights, only 3. And it was
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay. I mean, how long did they last? How big were the pillows? I mean, I don't even know why I'm asking this.
Yeah, I've never had any. That
Okay,
doesn't.
no, nobody
That's
has.
Sarah has
This is
that thing that did happen. The other one, not. No, no,
this
no.
is what guys wish
They wish that
like
happened.
were happening in female dorm rooms. Okay, so I mean, the thing that bothered me the most, I think, about it is the fact that he's like right there staring in the window and she just does not notice at all. And I was like, is there a glare or something? And it just made her look stupid. It just made her look completely unaware and just like a piece of meat.
It just also raises a massive question of consent and a threat that is throughout the film. There's a
Oh, for
massive
sure.
question of consent that just is throughout the film.
Mm-hmm.
It deals with every woman that is in that film, and it starts with Mandy, and it goes with Clarette,
Mm-hmm.
the 13-year-old.
Oh,
The
is that
daughter.
her name? I had her down as cashier. I didn't hear her give a name, but if you say it's Clarette, then I believe
I
you.
think I wrote it at the end of the credits because I couldn't remember it, but I want to say it's Clarette. Yeah, because it's Carmine's daughter, the
Right.
mayor.
Right.
Again, what happens to her? Like she doesn't get touched. Larry's a good guy.
Oh,
She's
well,
got-
yeah. I mean, if we're jumping to that one, okay, yeah, let's jump to that one. Let's jump to that because this scene is probably, in my opinion, like the most disturbing. Well, actually, okay, it's maybe tied. Okay, so Larry meets a cute cashier. This is for the toga party. Like they decide to have a toga party. They're about to get in trouble, and one of the things I find charming about this movie actually is that every time they're about to get into more trouble, they're just like, "Fuck it, let's have a party," and I'm just like, that's so cute. Like they're just not worried about shit. It's like I just love the carefreeness of it. It's just like today, like we worry about everything. We overanalyze everything. Like we're doing right now on this podcast. No, but like all the bad stuff, and it's like we internalize it, stresses us out, it gets us depressed and all that stuff. And they're just like, fuck it, let's have a party. Let's go on a road trip. And I was just like, youth. The folly of youth. You know? It was just so charming. Anyways, okay. So Larry and invites Clarette to this party. She says she has to wait until her parents are asleep to get out. She arrives, immediately starts pounding punch,
Yeah.
spiked punch. And she eventually starts making out with Larry. They go to a room, and she is about to take off her bra, which is stuffed, which I thought was kind of funny. And then she's passed out, and she's just laying there. And
So
then
then
there's
he debates on whether or not he should molest her passed out unconscious body.
right. Well, there's a little devil on his shoulder, and
Yeah,
there's like an angel on his shoulder.
right.
And the devil is like, it was, this was kind of disturbing. Like the devil is like, fuck her, do it,
Yeah.
she wants it, come on, do it. And it's like, oh my God. And then the angel, which for some odd reason had a super high pitched voice, I don't know why, but was just like, don't do it, listen to me, don't do it, don't harm that poor girl. And I was just like, oh, please listen to the angel, because this movie was made in 1978 and I don't know what's about to happen. Thankfully he does, right?
Puts
He
her in a
listens.
shopping cart and he delivers her back to her parents, which, to be fair, is fine. I am fine with that. That was a very good solve.
No, that was a terrible solve. A shopping cart?
Himself, he couldn't carry her. He didn't have a car. He like that was the
Girl, if
solve.
some dude dropped you off in a shopping cart
Again,
after you passed out drunk and you wake up in a shopping cart, like you're going out with that guy again.
he didn't have a car. He didn't have anything. He kind of knew where. I was surprised he knew where she lived. So, like, good on him. He could have just left her there. He could have left her in like a hospital. He could have left her anywhere. But he brought her back home. He did ding dong dash, and he took off.
What a gentleman. He rang the doorbell.
For
Our
18,
standards are so freaking low.
told him.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. So yes, after this whole incident, I guess
Land.
I guess the bright spot is like, I guess you can't win them all, right? Like she dodges being sexually assaulted, but winds up being dropped off in a shopping cart, passed out in front of her parents' house.
Could have been worse.
I want a movie made of your life. All right. Like, I don't know, man.
I just don't see it as a bad thing. I think for 18, that wasn't too bad. That was a good solve.
You think he was being industrious. You're like, good on you for finding a shopping cart. A human-
Seriously, like that was great.
It's
I,
mobile.
like,
It's got wheels.
if
It's
it was
like-
any of the losers I hung out with 18, they would have like done it with a jump rope and like 3 skateboards. Stop looking at me like that.
Okay. So we covered the getting it on with the with Clarette. I was troubled. I mean, the shopping cart thing was kind of funny because it's a comedy, but it's like there are also very true stories of, women, high school women, I think, and probably some college women being assaulted and then just like left on a lawn somewhere. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, like those kind of like images were popping up and I was just like, ugh, not good, but because this is a comedy and because it is absolutely outrageous, like this is an outrageous thing to do. So I think that you have to kind of take it in context, I guess. So yeah, I mean, fine. If you think it's normal,
Oh, no, I didn't say it was normal. I thought it was just a very creative solution to an issue.
Aaron, moving on. Okay.
Then they get back together
Yes.
and they make out on the football field.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And that's when he discovers that she is 13 years old.
Yes. And then that's like when it cuts, right? And you think
it cuts. And then
like you don't know what happens.
You don't know what happens, but then you see them together again.
Right. And what does he ask? What did they ask her father?
Dad, this is Larry, the boy that molested me last month. Now we have to get married.
And she's 13 and he is on board with this.
And then the father's about to kill him and he runs off, and that's when you get the freeze frame of what happened to him in the future, and he becomes the editor of National Lampoon.
Adorable. I mean, sick as fuck. 13? 13? That's like, you could have made her 16. I mean, you could, like, even like I guess in the 60s it was a different time, kind of. It was like
once he found out she was 13, they didn't need to hang out anymore.
No. That's so gross. But there are lots of places in the States that had very liberal consent laws at the time, and things have changed in most places. Like there's still some places that have like troublingly low ages of consent.
Do you want to talk about the scene where they trick a bunch of college girls into dating them?
That was next on my list.
Yay!
You're so good. Okay, so the next troubling thing. Okay, so they're about to get in trouble again, and they're just like, let's go on a road trip. Once again, delightful. I love this for them. They don't give a shit about the rules, and they don't give a shit about cowering to authority. And I think that you hit the nail on the head, by the way, like when you first were introducing the film, of how it's anti-authoritarian, and it is. It's just like, fuck the system, fuck this. And I like that. It's like, I like that energy that they're bringing to it. Like, they're just like, oh, you have rules? Fuck you. We're going to go do this thing that's like really fun, and that's probably going to get us in trouble again.
That's the spirit of the film. That's the whole spirit of the film. It's about going against authority. It's about clashing with the man. It's about fighting the power, and it's about doing that on a kind of like a funny, low level, low stakes kind of situation.
Yeah, for sure. And so this road trip that they take, like they're going to a female only college called Emily Dickinson College, and I'm pretty sure that they picked that name. One, because to telegraph that it is an all-girls school.
Yes.
Emily Dickinson is a novel. And the fact that the word dick is in it.
Also, a very specific kind of girl goes there. The kind of girl that writes poetry. The kind of girl
liberal arts.
Liberal arts, yeah. The kind of girl that is possibly more open to experiences.
Right.
I don't remember if this is right after they got expelled.
I think it was right before. I think that
this is right after they failed. Right after they failed.
Yeah.
They still have the house, so they weren't kicked off of campus yet.
No, not yet. Because I remember they bring it back to the house, and the car is like is really super damaged, and Kent freaks out.
The car's still in shape. I think they just failed everything, but they were still in double secret probation.
Yes, which is very authoritarian, by the way. He's like, I can do whatever I want. That dean was very fascist.
Did not care for them whatsoever.
No, he sucked. We don't like him. So they go to Emily Dickinson College, and what's his face? Otter goes in and he says, I'm here to meet like Fawn, whatever her name is. And they're like, oh, she's dead. Her roommate will come down though. And the roommate is just like, what can I do to like help you? And he pretends to be distraught. He's like, you know what? I don't think I can be alone right now. Can you come with me and just be with me tonight? And can you bring a few of your friends with you too? And so they bring a few friends, and they're piled into this car, and they go to this bar or club that is the regulars are all black. And they decide to go in as if it's completely normal for them to be there.
Because that was the band that played their
That
Toga
was the
party.
band. Yes, yes. And the Toga part, that was a great band. That was
Yeah.
a great scene. I love that scene where they're all dancing to shout. That was very cute. So Otis, the same singer, he's at this bar, and I mean, we can get into like the the depiction of black people in a second. But what happens is, so some black men come over and they're just kind of like, man, if I dance with your woman, and
Dance with your dates.
dance with your dates, and like, and of course they're meant to be terrifying, right? It's like black men, obviously, just terrifying people. And one of them moves a table out of the way to get better access to take the hand of one of these girls to go. And I think one of the men says something like, you know what I'd be thinking right now? And like then Boone says, leaving! And so they leave and they run out and they leave the women there. Like they just bounce and they run out of there. They take the car and they're so scared that they leave women and what they think is a dangerous situation, which is, wow, such a dick move. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying like this is like a tie for probably like the worst scene, because like the scene with like Larry and Clarette, like where the little angel and the devil are on his shoulders, was like troubling. This one was very troubling too, because they were just like, these women were expendable to them. Like they were before, but this like kind of like put the cherry on top of like this very, very dense piece of cake. And yeah, it was troubling. What do you think? What do you think of this scene, Erin?
For me, what makes this scene funny are the tiny details and
Okay.
not what they do.
Okay.
It's the fact that Fawn died in a kiln accident.
I forgot about
And,
that.
like, and like, and his shock of it. He's like,
Yeah.
he was making me something. Oh no. Like,
Mhm.
he's like, I just don't feel like I should be alone tonight. He's like, don't worry, I'll be with you. And he's like, can you bring 5 of your friends? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the subtlety of it, like the fact that there is no subtlety to it, that
There is no subtlety at all.
right, the small details of it, like, just are amazing, and that's what gets me, and that's where, for me, that's where the humor lies.
Right.
But yeah, I do think it's terrible that they take these women out far, take them to like a club, and then abandon them there when they feel like their lives are in danger, and then hightail it out, and then trash Flounder's brother's car in the meantime.
Yeah. I mean, that part is kind of funny. But
Yes.
I mean, because who hasn't been in that situation, like where you've done some damage to a car and you're freaking out about it, especially when you're young? Those were like the main ones for female objectification. I
Yeah.
think.
I
Like
mean,
those were like the main beats.
maybe we can talk about a little bit about Dean Wormer's wife, but I think she was like kind of gung
She
ho.
was game.
Yeah,
She
was
was
game.
just bored. Okay, so Dean
And she
Wormer's wife,
was hot. I like,
she was.
to this day, I want my underwear to be on the same like level as hers. Her underwear game was superb.
Solid, very solid.
Solid.
And I mean, and here's the thing: it's like she was like that tropey kind of like bored housewife, like married to a powerful man, doesn't get enough attention, has needs. And this young guy is like flirting with her, and Otter's a good looking guy, right? It's like he's
Oh
flirting
yeah,
with her,
yeah.
and like she's
Oh
giving
yeah.
it back, and like she's making sure he knows like who she is and everything, and he doesn't give a shit, which is makes Otter even more likable almost, because he's still going
Yeah.
after this woman who's got to be maybe twice his age. And yeah, I mean, she's very attractive and she wants to party, and it's like, I don't know, it's charming.
I just like it where she's just like fed up with her husband, because her husband, let's face it, her husband sucks.
Her
I
husband's
too would like show up hammered at like a frat house if I was married to Dean Wormer. Like, fuck
oh,
that
for
guy.
sure.
That guy
No, oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's the foil. He's
So
the villain.
the real issue with this movie that most people have is that it's the glorification of bro culture. So originally, this movie started off as a movie of kind of like, as we talked about, it's about anti-authority
Hmm.
kind of film. It's had the anti-authority spirit that we all kind of love.
Yep.
It's against the school system that doesn't like outsiders, that places minorities and people who don't fit in into, doesn't allow them to join the system. So they had to create their own system outside of it.
Right.
And then they kind of fight that system and try to keep them down. So that is the joy of that film. The problem with the film is that because it was all set within frats, the frat system took things like toga parties and things like that and then made it part of the
Mm.
frat system and bro culture. And then those things that used to represent what we thought was fighting the system have become part of the system.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, okay, it does glorify bro culture, but at the same time, I don't necessarily have a problem with a film that shows boys being boys and
No.
like showing like how they interact with one another and the charm that can come with that, the problematic elements that can come with that, all that stuff. Like I don't have yeah, it's broy. And if you don't like bro culture, then don't watch it. But
Right. I just need to throw that out there
yeah,
because
no, for
one of
sure.
those things that you say, it's like, listen, it's frat culture had become part of bro culture, and it's just now seen as all part of toxic masculinity. And the movie now represents that the culture as a whole, kind of in a way. And it's just kind of like the way Fight Club, which also was meant to represent anti-authority in its own way, is now embraced by incels. So it's just kind of, or the way bronies destroyed childhoods. It's
Right.
just, you have the wrong people embracing the wrong messaging.
Right. And this might be your point too. Is I don't know if it's like fair to like blame the film for that, right? It's like
No,
the
no,
film was
and it's
just
not the film's part because
no.
again, it's yeah, it's just what people took from the film.
Right.
I still love Fight Club. I haven't really seen My Little Pony, but I'm sure it is a delightful film.
No, Fight Club is a great film. I mean, it's like there's nothing wrong with like making a film about like male bonding and about kind of like male friendships and how they
No.
can get really bro. I mean, because here's the thing, like there's a lot of things that are very accurate about this fucking film, like in an exaggerated way, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're in a frat, you do look at women as objects. Like I remember like when I would I went only to like a few frat parties in college, and I remember I was taken there by a friend who was in a sorority, and they didn't let guys in. Like they only let women in. And you had to kind of like be on a list, if you were a guy. Like you had to be like a friend of like some guy in like the frat or something. But all the girls could go in. And you walked in, and it was so weird because I don't think I'd ever gotten looked at in that way, not by the men, but by the women. Like the women were looking at me up and down as like competition or something. Like, what the fuck are you doing
Huh.
here? And then like the red Dixie cups are just going everywhere, and it didn't feel very safe. I mean, and it was like people were there to hook up, and like they're horny, like they're just raging hormones. And yeah, some of them look at women as objects. And I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying it's great, but I'm saying it's true and it's accurate.
I only went to frat parties when I was in high school, and I feel like that was appropriate. I didn't go there to hook up with frat guys. I only went there to drink.
I never drank in high school. Like there was only like a couple of instances like where I did, and it was deeply like it was just embarrassing and uncomfortable. I was such a prude.
I was very punk rock, and I had absolutely no interest in frat guys whatsoever, but I was very interested in free booze.
Makes
And
sense.
yeah,
Makes
and
sense.
so me and my friends used to take the bus over to UCLA, and we would go hit fraternity row.
Wow. Did they think that you were of age, or did they know that you were underage?
When you're 17, looking 18 isn't that big of a deal.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I never had that much fun in high school. I never had fun in high school. So I'll have to live vicariously through you. But going back to like the whole like bro culture thing, it's like it's fine. I think it's fine. I think that if that's all the movies that they were making, it would suck. But I think that this is definitely a very realistic depiction of the things that motivate men or boys of that age. And it's like it's very honest in that respect. And like you might not like that honesty at all, You know, like you might find it offensive, and some of it is, but at the same time, you know, like once again, like this was made a while ago, and I do think that it gets some stuff right.
And
So
the humor is still timeless and
the
pretty.
humor is, it's just joyous and stupid, and it's like if you like National Lampoon stuff, you're probably going to like this movie. I mean, there is just
Yeah.
kind of like this irreverence about it that's really refreshing, I think. And like, and I think part of it too, and this is something I was realizing as I was watching, I was like, we don't have enough comedies anymore. We really don't. And so like the fact that I was watching a comedy that was so unleashed, you know, it was just so, I don't know, it just warmed my heart in a weird way.
John Belushi really was a talent.
Yes.
And he only speaks a handful of times.
He's not
in
even
the
the
movie.
star. Like he's a presence. He's like a very like
Yeah.
big presence, but yeah, you're right. He does not have that many lines.
But but he owns this movie
Yeah. And he's
completely.
like he's the face that you think of like when you think about Animal House. You think about
Yes.
I mean that scene in the cafeteria. I
Yes.
mean, amazing. So good.
And the few lines that he does have, it's all very memorable. And I love, and we're just getting into whether or not we check or cherish now. But
Oh,
like,
well, I mean, do you want to go over like the things that we loved about it first? Like like the
sure.
things that it
Yeah.
gets right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit already. So do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. I mean, it has for me at least, it has one of the best endings of any comedy. I love the tags at the end
Right.
where
What are
because
some of your favorites?
I love that Larry went on to become that. It was kind of meta that he goes on and becomes the editor of National
National
Lampoon.
Lampoon. Yeah.
I love that Flounder goes on to become basically he becomes like a guidance, like a counselor, and he's like up with people.
Right. You know what? You know what my favorite was? I think it was
Um,
Niedermeyer who went to Vietnam and got killed
was
by his
shot,
own troops.
yeah, shot by his own troops, which was something that happened all the time with the
But I
unlikable.
think that this time it was intentional. I think that
Oh
that
yeah,
was what they
yeah,
were
yeah.
trying to tell us.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no. I mean, again, happened all the time. But they
Yeah.
didn't like you, they would own troops would shoot you. That was an issue.
Yeah. And then
I like
D-Day
that
was like
Belushi.
unknown.
Yeah, Bluto went on and became a senator, and
That
that
makes total sense.
Mandy became his wife.
Yeah. I mean, that tracks. And then D-Day just like kind of disappeared and was
Into
like never heard from ever again. Like, you know, place unknown. We don't know where he went.
yeah, you
Which
just
which totally fits for a guy like that, right? Like
yes.
you can totally see that guy disappear. You're like, I knew this guy, and he was like totally cool, and his name was D-Day, and we just never heard from him again. Like totally.
Otter became a gynecologist.
Funny, very, very, very
It's
good. I mean,
all so good, so good,
I
and
would
so
have loved to
like.
be in like the writers' room when they're trying to come up with these.
I
They
want to
must
see
have
the
come up with
ones that
hundreds of
didn't
them.
make it.
Yeah,
The ending with the parade. Like I love the
yeah,
revenge scene so
hmm,
much. I love what they did to like Ken's car.
yep.
I love like the marbles. I like leading the band into the alley. I like the whole chaos of the scene of the Founders Day parade.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
No, that it's just like chaos. You know, it's just comedic chaos, and it's super cute. A perfect ending to this film, given like the characters that we've already been introduced to for sure. And I think like I'll just reiterate again, like my favorite part of this film was just how lighthearted it is, and how it was just there. It just seems like some guys got together just to have a blast making a movie. You
Yeah.
know, just to have fun and to like come up with like ridiculous situations, and to, you know, like let's shoot like a raucous, you know, toga party scene with, you know, Shout, you know, with like the band playing Shout. That was great. And I love like how it embraces kind of the whole like invincibility of youth thing. You know, like when you're young, it's like, fuck the rules. I can get away with whatever I want. I can drink all day, every day, and still make it to class somehow, you know? And I don't know. And like every single time that they're about to get into trouble again, they, you know, they say, fuck it. Like, let's just go have a good time. And I think I miss that kind of in movies and in comedies nowadays. Like, I don't know if we see that often anymore. And it was like men at play, you know, and it was just a lot of fun to watch.
I feel like when people are having fun on set, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can feel the joy.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of this resonated. I
Oh,
feel
for
like,
sure.
and I enjoyed that very
Y-
much.
Well, like even the scene where Bluto is like going like at the cafeteria scene, like that
Yeah,
was all improv. Like
right.
he was just like going and like piling. They were like, just keep on him, just keep on him. Like let's see like where he goes with this and the whole zit thing. I mean, he's just fucking around, and they're catching it all on film, and they're like, yeah, let's use it. It was just kind of like giving all these like great comedic actors like permission to just be as funny as they fucking want, and to not follow a script completely and to add their own flair to everything. And I think that they were perfect. Like this is a great cast for what they're trying to do. And the script, if you want to call it that, because there's no plot, whatever, like it doesn't matter because it's fun. It's like they just put together a whole bunch of fucking fun scenes and just rode with that and didn't try to put too much of a leash on it. And I think that that is why it wound up being so charming. I was surprised how much I liked it, actually. At the end of it, I was just kind of like, I don't know. I just felt kind of like uplifted. I don't know. It was good.
One of the things that resonated from that I remember very clearly from my childhood is that when we would go to Universal Studios, my dad would always do the Ask for Babs promotion.
Oh yeah.
And so,
They kept that going for like a long time, right?
yeah, like I want to say into like the late 80s, maybe later.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but it did get to a point where they kind of stopped honoring it, but they gave you buttons.
Mm.
But they did give you discounts. I don't know because I was too young because I also like like what 9-year-old or 10-year-old pays for their own Universal Studios ticket.
True.
But like there was a while there where like if you watch to the end of the credits and it says if you go to Universal Studios because Babs becomes the Universal Studios tour guide and it says ask for Babs, if you would go to Universal Studios in the 80s and you asked for Babs, they would honor that in some way. They would give you a discount on the ticket. They would do something along those lines. So it was great. And they kept that going for a really long time, like at least 10 to 15 years after the movie was done.
I love that fact. I love that.
It's just like a fun little bit of like LA lore that tied to this movie that was kind of amazing.
For sure. No, I love that. And I love how it kind of like made its way into like the zeitgeist back then and kind of like kicked off like a lot of films that celebrated teens and youth and like sometimes in like completely slapstick ways and sometimes in like very authentic ways. It's like, would we have, The Breakfast Club if we didn't have Animal House first? I don't know.
This kicked off raunchy comedies. This
Right.
this really created that template of everything that from the good ones to the bad ones, from Revenge of the Nerds to Private School to like every like bad sex romp to every good like Judd Apatow film. Like
Yeah.
it's just this inspired everything in
Right.
between as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad for that because those films kind of like shaped me as a human. So,
Yeah, same.
so very happy with it. Okay, I think that this goes without saying, but let's just do it. Chuck or cherish?
Cherish.
Cherish. I will also cherish it with you,
Yes.
unlike St. Elmo's Fire. But anyways,
Yeah.
kidding, just kidding.
Things
Not
at
to bring
you.
up a sore spot. Sorry, I just re-listened to that episode. Um, so yes, definitely cherish this film. Love to see kind of like young Harold Ramis humor. By the way, he likes weird names. That was something else I clocked. Like when I was like looking at this, I was like, Harold Ramis and the names. Like if you go between like Animal House and like Ghostbusters, it's like, dude.
I bet you a silver dollar that like they're named after people he knows. Like they
Probably.
are like his neighbors, his buddies, his friends.
Lutarski, Niedermeyer,
Oh
like
yeah, those
Bankman.
are all people he knows. I bet you. Like they're
Yeah.
all like his buddies from college or people he didn't like. Yeah, it's his revenge or
Yeah.
it's either his Chuck or cherish.
Right. There you go. There you go. That's probably what it was. Okay, so yes, definitely cherish this film. I'm glad that you recommended that we watch it. I'm glad that you recommended it for the pod and that you brought a smile. You were able to bring a smile to my face as I watched it over the weekend. So, thank you.
Oh, good. Yay. And
So I
next
appreciate
time
it.
we will watch something horrific that'll make us both
Every week, that's what we do. That's our job.
Yay.
Yay! everybody.
Well, this was horrific. Maybe next time we'll watch something else. We'll watch another Harold Ramis movie that'll make us smile and joy.
I feel like I need to go like on a Harold Ramis tear right now. Like, cause it just, I don't know, just filled me with joy. I need more of it. I need more. All right. So we'll figure that out. All right. Well,
His
that
meatballs ever offended anybody?
True. Okay, well, I think that this wraps us up. Thank you, Erin, for recommending Animal House, and I will traumatize you with the film of my choosing next.
Oh, fantastic.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.